Are you tired of the super toxic roller coaster ride following the vanity metrics of likes and follows? Trust me, I've been there. Poring over my social analytics and wondering why. Why did this not get the views that I thought it would? Why is my follower count not growing? Why am I not getting more likes on my posts? And then I'd spend the next however many weeks pivoting, trying on different versions of my content and myself, jumping on every trend, throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. Only to find that after doing that, my feed lacks cohesion. I don't have any more followers than I did before. And most importantly, the people who followed me because they liked who I was and the content I created are now confused. They don't know who I am anymore, and they're starting to unfollow and disengage. It was only then that I realized that my analytics, although helpful and insightful, are not and should not ever be the be-all and end-all or the only way that I measure my success on social media. I am now free and liberated from the chains and bondage of the infamous social media vanity metrics villain. They're there, but they don't control me or my emotions or my thought of myself and what I put out into the world. Instead of focusing on followers, I do these 5 things instead. Number 1, I never overlook leads, messages, and community. So here's the deal. Views don't show you the amount of people who clicked on the link in your bio and took a look at your website or the product or services you provide. The amount of likes you have doesn't tell you how many messages you got in your DMs from people actually taking a moment to take genuine interest in you and your business. Your follower count can't tell you how many conversations were had in your comments. And these things, conversions, engagement, connection, are the foundations upon which your account will grow. The answer to getting more followers is not to do something shocking or trendy on camera, just for virality's sake. It's to provide more value to the people that already follow you, to invite them to connect with you and join in conversations with them. Because it's important for you to ask yourself, why did the followers that I already have decide to follow me in the first place? Chances are it's because they found the content you were producing to be valuable and relatable to them and their lives. As you continue to serve them and they continue to engage, the algorithm will respond. And organically, your account will see the growth you've been hoping for so long. But it does take time. So instead of getting caught up in the views and likes and followers, respond to some comments. Comment on one of your followers' posts. Share a little known tip or some valuable piece of honesty that your followers can use and relate to. Here's an idea. What if you started a full-blown conversation with someone who commented? Ask them a continuing question or something instead of just saying thanks and moving on. So the next thing I do to avoid the toxic relationship with likes and followers, I set objectives that can be quantified via analytics. Other objectives other than likes and follows. Here's the deal. Everyone assumes that when they use social media to grow, they only want likes and follows. But there's a different way that you can look at this. You can be objective-based. Decide first and foremost, why are you even on social media? What does success look like for you? Don't look to the left, don't look to the right. Decide what this means for you. You can't measure success if your target is always changing. So you need to know your metric. Want more leads and conversions? Okay. Tell your followers how your business solves their problems. Remind them all the time, not only what your business can do for them, but of who you are and what your mission is. And then, for example, decide that you're going to post X amount of reels that promote your business per month. Then carve the time out to actually do it. I think we often make things much more complicated than they need to be. Want more people reaching out in your DMs and your comments? Cool. Give people something to reach out about. Are you asking them questions on your Instagram story? Are you sharing information that invites connection and inspires conversation? Do your followers know exactly who you are and what you're all about? If they don't, make sure to start sharing that. Do you need to boost engagement and start more meaningful conversations? The first step to this is you need to be the first one to engage. No one likes shouting into a void, so instead respond to comments. Say thank you and then add something else that's intentional. Visit your followers' pages and make them feel seen and heard, like their content inspires you too. Keep the conversation going, ask them questions, be interested in their direction. The other thing that I do to keep a healthy relationship with likes and followers, I remember that the feelings that vanity metrics incite, how it can bog me down, and I'm simply walking around as somebody who is aware. And you should also be too. Just because tens of thousands of people didn't follow you or like your content overnight doesn't mean that the content wasn't valuable to somebody in some way. It doesn't mean your social media strategy isn't working. And it doesn't mean that you're not good enough either. Yeah, I know. These metrics can take us to some pretty dark places. It's important to recognize that when they're causing you to spiral and doubt yourself, that you can go back to one of those objectives, like you set in number 1 or number 2, to help you refocus on what's really worth looking at and what's really worth grabbing your attention. Because when you feel like you're not good enough or like your content isn't valuable, you stop doing and you start overthinking. We're all so very guilty of this. Thinking about what you can do differently, or thinking about why someone else goes viral and you don't. Thinking about the one thing that you could have said or you should have said, or why somebody might have turned against you. When in actuality, all this thinking is doing is keeping you from connecting with your audience. When you dwell on those little details and you don't post until you're certain that something is perfect, you're missing the opportunities to share the content that can provide your audience with solutions to their problems, or content that inspires them, or content they can relate to and make them feel less alone. So don't let your numbers slow your progress. Keep going and keep your eyes on the real prize. Next, I remember that a big following does not equal a real following. We see this all the time with people who buy followers. And yes, that's still a thing that people do. And in my opinion, it's a huge no. So if you've ever considered it, don't do it. What often happens is that somebody is craving the legitimacy of a high follower count. So they go and buy followers in droves. But the one problem with that is that Instagram is smart. It can sniff out bot and inactive accounts right away. And often people who buy followers for that big number find that they lose followers just as quickly as they gain them, because Instagram terminates all of the accounts that they just bought. The other problem with this is that the bot followers just don't care about you. So they don't like your post, they don't comment on your post, or they don't send messages. They mess with your engagement rate. They are just a number, and a high follower count doesn't spell professional or top-notch or legitimate. No, if you want to make your account more legitimate, you have to do more to gain followers. You have to gain their trust. You have to foster connection, and to do that, you have to stay focused on providing value to your audience rather than dwelling on the dissatisfaction of the size of your existing audience. Finally, the next thing I do is I understand that the grass is not always greener on the other side, which is to say that a large following comes with its own set of challenges. With more followers, it can be difficult to pick out the best people to engage with. With so many comments to scroll through, how do you notice which accounts are consistently engaging with you? How do you pick those people and reward them for their support? Plus, more people means more opinions. And I don't think I even have to elaborate on that too much. If you've been on the internet for more than a year, you already know. And with more followers often comes more of a desire to please everyone with your content. So you stop answering difficult questions, you cease to be vulnerable, and you kind of create content that becomes more safe and less valuable as a result. Of course, this doesn't always happen. There are plenty of people who have grown their accounts in a big way organically and continue to be brave and vulnerable in order to serve their audience the best content possible. But those creators can still face big, ruthless criticism. Plus, let's consider what a fast-growing social following can do to your business. If you provide a service that's just gone viral, maybe you don't have the manpower to accommodate all the thousands of people that are knocking at your door. This can turn into a problem. Maybe the folks that get turned away go and leave negative reviews. If you provide a product that everyone on Instagram suddenly wants, you may just not have enough to go around. So it sells out fast, and the people who didn't get it fast enough become resentful. Now, the last thing I want you to do is be scared of growth. Busy, fast days are better than slow ones any day of the week. And the larger your audience, the more lives you can improve with your business. Rather, I'm just reminding you that while going viral can be incredibly lucrative, there's a whole other side to the story. And there's delight to be reaped in steady, slow growth rather than rapid growth. I hope these tips have helped you to focus on the bigger picture and helped you to adjust your mindset regarding analytics. I know it can be tricky, but that's why we're here. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more tips and support in growing your business through social media. Until next time.